Well, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are all doing great. As many of you know, we had a very interesting week here in Texas last week. We had a huge winter storm come through and bring down the temperatures significantly. It got down, I think it got down to about 19. I need to check the actual records, but 19 or 20 here in Corpus, which is not common at all. So the Texas power grid really struggled, and it resulted in many people across the state losing power. The impact to our family was we lost power for 4 days and we lost water for 3. We stuck it out for the first day. We cooked on a propane cooker out in the garage and bundled up, tried to stay warm, but we ended up going to a friend's house who didn't lose power, and we stayed at her place for the rest of the week, which was just awesome considering how long it lasted. But one of the more significant impacts of the storm was what appears to be a pretty major fish kill. Fish kills are natural. They occur pretty often. I've lived in Corpus for a total of 5 years now, and I've seen 3 of them myself. One other was because of a cold weather event, and then another due to the red tide, which is an algae bloom. But what I've been hearing is that this one is a little more significant, that it killed quite a few more fish than what typically happens. So the Texas Parks and Wildlife Spills and Kills Department is doing an assessment to see how much the Texas fishery was impacted by this. They said that they will release their report early next week, so by the time you're watching this, hopefully it's out. So I'm going to keep my eyes open for that and follow up probably on my Instagram with that report, so you can all kind of get some more concrete numbers. So with that said, I am not going to be fishing this weekend. It just doesn't feel right fishing amongst a bunch of dead floating fish. So what I'm doing right now, I'm going to drive out to Padre Island National Seashore, and I want to check the bay side and the beach side for fish kills and just do a quick little walk through and get a visual on how bad the damage is. Now, there's a good chance that we're not going to know the full impact until the waters warm up a little bit. What happens is typically the fish die and they stay on the bottom until things start to warm up, and then that's when they begin to float and wash ashore.
Honey, don't you be yelling at me when I'm cleaning my gun. Will Rogers turns back to the big cabin exit Stockton.
Wow, this place is extremely empty for a Sunday evening. Usually this entire parking lot's full. I'm out at the Bird Island Basin boat launch right now. This is a spot that I come to pretty frequently to launch the kayak out of or just wade fish. I wanted to come walk out here and check the shoreline out and see what it looked like. So right off the bat, we come up on quite a few dead bait fish. This looks like a little trout, maybe a little sand trout. There's some mullet. There's a puffer fish, dead puffer fish. Mostly seeing a bunch of dead bait fish here. I haven't seen any trout or reds yet, but I've seen plenty of reports and videos of some big trout and big redfish, some snook, some tarpon. So I'm not seeing much of that or any of that here yet. There's some more bait fish. But like I said, they probably have not all floated to the surface and washed ashore quite yet. So we won't know the full impact until that happens. Again, I'm walking the shore on Padre Island National Seashore, right next to the boat launch. Pretty popular spot for local fishermen around here. There's a trout. It's been eaten up. There we go. Here's a monster trout. What a shame. All right, well, I probably walked about a quarter of a mile down this shoreline next to the boat ramp, and I found a whole bunch of dead bait fish. I found 3 dead trout, one of which was good size. I didn't find as many game fish species as other people are finding, but that's not indicative of how bad this affected the fishery. You know, they're all still out there waiting to get washed ashore, more than likely. So that was the bay side of the island. Now I'm going to drive over to the beach side of the island and see what it looks like. Yep, immediately you see dead fish. I'm going to get out of the truck and do a little walking around and take a look at it a little closer, see what we've got out there. But yeah, there's a lot of dead fish on the beach. It's pretty bad. It's a lot of hardheads, a lot of mullet. Here's what looks like maybe a little mangrove snapper. You know, one thing that a lot of people don't realize during these major fish die-offs like this is that it can be pretty difficult to drive around because these hardhead catfish have really stiff and pointy spines in their fins, and they actually will puncture your tires. So I imagine there'll be quite a bit of that going on, considering the beach looks like this right now. All right, I think you get the point. So now the question is, should you or should you not practice catch and release this year? In my humble opinion, the short answer is yes, you should. I don't think there's anything wrong with taking a fish or two for dinner every now and then, but I think stocking your freezer for the year, you might want to rethink that for 2021. But the long answer is, I want to see some data. I'd like to see the report that the Texas Parks and Wildlife is going to put out regarding this, and see just how much it impacted this fishery. You know, maybe it looks worse than it actually is. So, I, for one, will be practicing catch and release more than I typically do this year. And my suggestion would be, wait for that report to come out, read it, and then make your decision based on that. With that said, this wasn't a particularly fun video to make, but I didn't feel right going out and fishing during all of this, and I just kind of wanted to come out and check things out for myself. So I will try to share that Texas Parks and Wildlife report as soon as it comes out. So keep an eye out on my Instagram for that, or just Google it yourself. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, keep an eye out for my next video on Tuesday. We'll see you next time.